We are switching it up today, you guys. Normally when you come to this channel and you see me, I'm either in full makeup already or we're doing a look together, and normally I create a pretty full-on glam look that maybe isn't always as wearable on the everyday as maybe what you guys would like, I'm not sure. Anyway, but today what I thought I would do is show you my really natural, I'm not gonna say no makeup because if I'm gonna do no makeup, to be honest with you, I'm just not gonna wear makeup. I don't care. I'll just wear no makeup, you know? But this is just my very natural, kind of quick makeup look. Did I sell it? I don't know. Hopefully you want to keep watching. If you do, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. You can give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It truly means the world to me. We are like 40, when I'm filming this, we're like 40 subscribers away from 500. That's so exciting. Anyway, let's just get started. Okay, what I'm also going to do, and actually one of the reasons that inspired this video was, I'm going to give you guys a little mini review on the new Fenty Beauty Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. They had me at the word blurring. If you put blurring in your title of your product, I promise you I will buy it. I am a sucker. I will buy it. I like to use mine with a brush. I know that they said to apply this with your, oh, I'm in the shade 2, by the way. This is going well, this video, can you tell? I know they say to use your fingers with this product, and like that's the best way to apply it. I don't personally find that for me and my skin. I found when I used my fingers, I may as well have been putting literally no product on at all. And I also found when I used my fingers that the product really didn't like melt into my skin at all. It just sat weirdly on top of my skin. And that's the thing that I've noticed about this foundation, you guys, is I think it's nice. It's definitely not got a lot of coverage to it. So if you're looking for a little bit of coverage, I'd go more with like a solid BB or CC cream. This definitely, or even like the Kosas face oil, that has more coverage than this in my opinion. But yeah, it definitely doesn't have a lot of coverage. It is like color, like neutralizing. You can kind of see that a little bit. Is it blurring? Like not really on my skin. It's not that blurring, but maybe I just have an unrealistic expectation of what I expect it to blur. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you can see, it kind of applies like sunscreen. I don't know if this has sunscreen in it. I should find out. I'll put it on the screen if it does. But yeah, it applies like kind of like sunscreen. Like, you know when you get like those really like shitty almost sunscreens from like see? I don't know if you guys can see how it just doesn't like melt into the skin, and it's like that when you use your hands too. I found the only thing is like I just find putting it on with the brush applies the coverage a little bit, and then pushing it in with the sponge like works the best for me. So my recommendation is to go and get a tester of this foundation before you like purchase it, because I'm not sure if you will like it. Now I'm just taking my Fenty, when I edit back my videos, you guys, sometimes when I listen to myself call a product like a complete opposite name, I'm like, what are you doing? Anyway, McGrath Sublime Concealer. This is in the color L2. Normally I use L2 and L4. But this foundation is so light that if I do that, it's way too dark. So we're just using the lighter one. I put quite a bit of concealer on because this foundation is quite light coverage. I like the concealer to really just even out a little bit of my T-zone and where my extra redness is in my skin. So if you're going to kind of follow along, just take a step back and like look at your face and see where you think you might need some extra coverage, and that's where I would recommend it. Also, you don't need to use as much concealer as me. Obviously, like I say 1,000,001 times every video, I have a lot of pigmentation and darkness under my eyes, so I use a lot of concealer. If you don't have that, just use a little dot, you know what I'm saying? Just make your, tailor the makeup to your beautiful, unique face. So I'm just going to tap in my concealer with my sponge. I'm going to take some of my Fenty Beauty Butter Biscuit Cream Bronzer, which is this color right here. This is a bit more of like a contour color, which is fine. I like to use this one because it's quite natural on my skin. I like to use this when I'm doing really light coverage. Yeah, I have to use a sponge because this foundation does not like a brush after you've applied it. I like to use this because it's very, very light, like it's like a light coverage, almost cream bronzer contour. It doesn't like add a lot of color. I could probably go a bit darker than what I've gone, like than Butter Biscuit is what I'm trying to spit out here, because if I use this when I've got like a more full coverage foundation on, I find that it doesn't really show up very well. So yeah, that's why I like to use this one. I'm taking my Hollywood Flawless filter because I recommend, well, I guess it depends on the kind of highlight you're looking for. This is a very, very natural looking liquid highlight. You can also use this as like a mix-in for your foundation. You can use it like before you put foundation on, all that kind of stuff. And it is a lovely, lovely product. I personally like the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight Highlight Wand better than this. I just find this product, it's really nice, like, and I'm speaking strictly for, I guess, like my experience and maybe my skin type here. I just find that this, unless I'm using it on an everyday, like really, really natural looking makeup day, if I use this any other time, it takes my foundation off. Even if I haven't put my my powder on yet, if I've just done like all of the same steps but like more coverage, for example, I find that this removes coverage where my foundation is, and I don't really like that. Whereas like when I'm using a lighter coverage foundation, it doesn't really matter as much because it's already like not covering a lot. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I really feel like this video has been all over the place and I apologize for that. Hopefully you get something out of it. If you don't, let me know in the comments down below. Be nice about it. We're friends here. This is a kind, loving environment. We take constructive criticism, but it needs to come from a place of love and not just being an asshole basically. But anyway, but yeah, if you find that this is a bit too all over the place, let me know and I'll refilm it. Anyway, we're moving on to powder now. So the two powders that I like to use, you can really use any powder you like with this obviously, but the powders that I found work really, really well, one on a natural everyday basis, and two just in general with this foundation as well, is either the CoverGirl Clean and Fresh powders or, you know, my beloved Kosas Cloud Set powder. I love both of these powders. They're both clean powders for the skin, and they're both really, really good quality. I just think it will depend on if you want to spend like a more bougie amount or a drugstore amount. The choice is yours, my friends. I have both. I love both, to be completely honest with you. If you want your makeup to last a lot longer throughout the day without having to touch up, I recommend using the Kosas powder. If you want a little bit more coverage to the to the foundation, but you don't mind having to touch up a little bit throughout the day, use the CoverGirl powder, because this doesn't last as set the makeup as long as this does. So that's my recommendation to you, just in case you were looking for a lower price point to the Kosas. Obviously, I'm going to use Kosas because you know it's my girl. I know that maybe I probably should use the CoverGirl. This is the color Airy that I use on my under eyes, you guys, by the way, and I'm just taking that on my Sigma tapered brush like I always do. I probably should use the CoverGirl powder so that you can see something different, but I wanted to give you guys like a realistic, like, this is how I do this look. And then I'm taking Breezy with my Linda Holberg powder puff like I always do, and I really push this into the skin, and you can just see it. One, it adds a little bit of nice color back to me because that foundation is so light, but it definitely just adds a little bit of extra coverage. And then if you're using something like the CoverGirl powder, it's going to add more coverage again. What we are going to do now is we are going to bronze our skin up and bring us back to life. Now, I like to, on an everyday natural looking day, I like to really bronze my skin up because usually I've used such a light coverage foundation, I look really pale, and the rest of my body isn't quite this pale. I mean, I'm pale, but I'm not this pale, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer today. This is in the color medium, which is a joke because I should never be medium, but anyway, I believe she's also expanded this range, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong about that actually. But I do really like this bronzer. This is an e.l.f. Cosmetics fluffy brush, by the way. I love it for when I just want to look like quite bronzed and I'm not being super like strategic about where I place the bronzer. And on an everyday natural look, that's kind of what I do, is I just kind of like put my bronzer all over my face pretty much. It's not very technical, but in real life it does look really nice because it just brings a little bit of life back to me. I know this is a lot of steps already. As you guys know, because I am combo skinned, I do really like to layer a cream and then powder product over the top of it because it extends the wear. Even though I'm doing like a natural makeup look, usually if I'm doing this, I'm going out for a long period of time, or I'm still planning on wearing the makeup for a longer period of time. So I want it to look really natural and effortless, but at the same time, I still want it to last a really long time without me touching it up. So that's why I still do use quite a bit of products. If you want to see some makeup looks without using so many products, let me know. I'm happy to do that. It's just not really how I roll a lot of the time because of the combo skin and wanting to set it, and two, because I love freaking using as much makeup as possible. We are not a minimalist channel around here. We're just not. Now for highlight today, I'm going to take an old favorite that I haven't used in ages. This is the Colourpop Lunch Money highlighter. These are fantastic when you want a cream highlighter but you don't want it to be cream. So this is their Super Shock formula. I like to take it with my sponge, so I just kind of put my sponge in it on the side like this, and I tap the excess off on my hand, and then I just kind of tap it into where I want the highlight. And you can kind of see it's like really, really, really natural. And that's the cool thing about this, is that it's like a almost cream formula, but it's actually technically powder. So one, it looks lovely over powder, but two, when you actually put it on the skin, it melts into the skin like cream. So it's really quite special. You can kind of see how it makes my skin look really like wet almost, instead of like that really overtly obvious highlight. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so for blush, we are going to take the Kosas blush. This is in the color Papaya. This is the powder one, so that's like a highlight, and this is the blush. It is very powdery, just FYI, but this is also a clean makeup formula, and I'm just going to tap that onto kind of like my cheekbones almost, because I've been finding that looks quite nice for me. So our base is done, and honestly the rest of this is going to take like a couple of minutes, probably longer because I'm talking this through. Now I recently got a new setting spray. This is the Maskne control spray from Skindinavia. I saw this on Beautylish. It was like in their new section, and as soon as I saw it I was like, hells to the freaking yes. So this works to prevent breakouts under your mask. It's a fine mist, oil-free, paraben-free, and it's our patented cooling technology, helps keep makeup and skin from overheating under your protective mask. Our proprietary combination of witch hazel, organic willow bark, and zinc work to clear skin, reduce inflammation, and control acne causing bacteria. I don't know if this like actually 100% works. We have to wear masks in Brisbane, in Queensland, where I live at the moment, because we had some COVID cases the other week, and I have been wearing this and I don't have any Maskne coming through. So I'm going to say it does work, because I did have Maskne last time we had to wear masks in Brisbane. So we're going to do our brows now, and I'm going to take my Benefit Cosmetics Gimme Brow. I have tried and tried and tried to find a dupe for this, you guys. I cannot. This is the best brow product. I think the only one that has ever come close for me is the Glossier Boy Brow, but we can't get Glossier to Australia. They don't ship to us, and obviously they don't get stocked anywhere else. So usually what I'll do is I'll take that, and if I'm kind of just like doing a super natural look, I'll pretty much only do that with my brows. I'll just put the Gimme Brow in it. But sometimes I'll take the Lime Crime Bushy Brow Pen, and I will just put a couple of extra strokes through my brows. So I'm just going to do that now, but I can't talk and do it at the same time, okay? All I'm doing is taking my Charlotte Tilbury. Have you guys watched Teresa is Dead and her Margaret Candle Flame? I just love her. She's so good. Anyway, so now whenever I say Charlotte Tilbury, if you've watched Teresa is Dead, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's Charlotte Tilbury. Anyway. I've got issues. All I'm taking is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. You literally use whatever bronzer you have in your collection, or you don't use anything, do you? And all I do is just grab a blending brush, and I really haphazardly, how good is that word? Haphazardly. I really haphazardly pop that into my crease, just to kind of define the crease a little bit. My hooded eye friends know what I'm talking about with this. It just makes me look like I have a little bit more lid space and my eyes aren't as like heavy on like by appearance, if that kind of makes sense. Probably doesn't. I'm not really talking much sense today. Anyway, I literally do that. Sometimes I put it all over the lid a little bit just so that it doesn't look so stark. Like I just make it look a little bit more cohesive. All I'm taking as well is that same blending brush and I'm just pinching it together, and I'm just gonna really haphazardly, that's that amazing word again, run that underneath my eyes as well, just to create just a little bit of definition. It just kind of marries it all in together. And then I'm taking my Kosas Big Clean Mascara, popping some mascara on my lashes. For a natural look, I keep it super natural. So I just barely put any mascara on, to be honest with you. What lip shall I wear today? And I guess this is what you can choose to do now, is you can either choose to put like a bold lip on. Maybe you want to keep everything else really natural and just be like wham bam thank you ma'am with the lip. You could put a really natural lip on. You could just put plain gloss on, whatever your heart desires, you can do. So I'm actually going to put on my Colourpop Luxe Liquid Lip in the color Room Service, because this is actually quite a nice, I really like their Luxe Liquid Lip formula. It's really nice. And then over the top of it, I'm actually going to put the Honey Waffles Cream Gloss Bomb from Fenty. Oh, I like that. I like it. I like it. Okay, so this is the finished natural makeup look. It's also a very monochromatic look, which I dig the vibe of. So you can obviously change this up to literally whatever you like. This is just the steps that I take in when I'm doing a natural makeup, which is essentially the same steps that I take when I'm doing more full coverage makeup. It's just that I switch up the products that I use to be a lot more natural, i.e. I use less concealer, I use a really, really light coverage foundation, I use a little bit less powder. I just kind of use less products overall, and the products that I do use on the everyday, like more natural type look, are kind of just softer versions of the look of the makeup that I would use if I'm going for like a more medium, like full coverage kind of makeup look. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Hopefully you found this video helpful or interesting or just entertaining in some way, shape or form. I feel like I was very all over the place with it and I'm truly sorry for that. So yeah, let me know nicely if you want me to refilm this because you were just like, I got nothing out of this. But yeah, I'm happy to do that because yeah, I think it was a little over the place. Anyway, let me know, what's your thoughts? I really want to know what your guys' thoughts is on the Fenty foundation if you have it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video in some way, shape or form. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much if you do. Thank you if you were watching to this point, especially for this one, because I'm sure it was a rough ride. And I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.